Welcome to Reef and Pondwise, another great day in the hobby. Now guys, if you're new to the channel and you love reef keeping and pond keeping like I do, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. I was sitting here enjoying my anemone, and it's always fascinated me how the symbiotic relationship between a clownfish and anemone works. And in the hobby, it's called mutualism. So what happens is the anemone in the relationship actually provides shelter, at least in the clownfish's mind, provides shelter for the fish, and in turn the clownfish brings food to the anemone. And whenever the clownfish and the anemone are together, the relationship is just amazing. So in addition to food sources, protection, the clownfish will provide waste and nutrients to the anemone. And this anemone is the size of a small soccer ball. I've got a 120-gallon reef tank, and he takes up a good, I would say overall, maybe eighth in the lower right-hand corner of this tank, and it is absolutely fabulous. One of my favorite parts of the reefing hobby. This is by far the biggest one. It is a rose bubble tip anemone, and he is absolutely gorgeous and just sways back and forth in the current, making his tentacles move back and forth ever so slightly. And it's just a hoot to watch. A lot of enjoyment for everybody that sits and views the anemone and the clownfish. So I planning, this one has been in my tank here for well over a year and a half. He has moved around, but he's settled back in here, and he hasn't moved in probably almost a year. So once they get situated and they place their foot in the rock, they love to find a happy spot in the tank. And as you can see, this one is definitely happy. The key is to keep them away from other corals. They do have a lethal sting, and they will sting their neighbors. I've actually had to position rocks to guard some of my other coral, so that when this guy really reaches for the light during the day, he doesn't sting the surrounding coral. So you can't see it now, but I've placed a rock between these mushrooms and the anemone on this lower tier. On that upper tier, that was not part of my original aquascape. I had to put that there to guard him from my SPS coral up at the top, along with the GSP, these other mushrooms, and a couple of the soft corals that are over here. So if you don't have an anemone and you've thought about getting one, they are a blast. One of my favorite things in a reef tank, and you won't be sorry if you can block them like I do if they move around, or make sure that before you put surrounding corals in, that their foot is solidly stable on a rock so that they don't move, and they're happy. Once they're happy and they stay in place, you're pretty much good to go. All right, guys, anybody can keep a reef tank, but it takes somebody special to build a reef tank. Or is it the other way around? All right, guys.